This is Victorious coming to you guys again. Um, I wanted to talk to you guys about decisions. Decisions. When it comes to decisions, decisions determine the outcome of our lives. Some of us could say, "Oh, I was born in poverty. It's the white man's fault." As if you're black or if you're Latin, you know what I'm saying? And if you're white, you could say, "Oh, it's the government's fault." These are things that I'm pretty sure you may have even said because I've said them in my life, and these are things that you might have heard if you haven't said them. Most of the things that we say because we've heard them from different places. But the reality of the matter is, our decisions affect our results, affect our outcomes. Like if you're fat or you're overweight, it's because you made a decision not to do something or a decision to do something with your time. You know, and generally when we make a new decision, it requires effort. And that's a word that's like the most hideous word for most people out here. You know, most of you guys probably you make bad decisions. If you're fat, you say, "Oh, I'm getting a stomach," or "I'm getting this little cottage cheese right here." But at the end of the day, what are you doing to change it? So, when we make a decision not to do something, we're also making a decision to do something. And when we make a decision to do something, like watch TV, we're also making a decision not to exercise. Or when we make a decision to get wasted to the point that we're not functional, or it doesn't make us, we put ourselves in an emotional state or spiritual state that doesn't coincide with us achieving our goals, then generally we have, like, all right, I'll give you an example. You make a decision to um play Xbox. Let's say if you're younger, if you for you younger people out there, if you make a decision to play Xbox, you're making a decision simultaneously. Whether you realize that every one decision is two decisions, and you're making a decision simultaneously to not study how to make money on the stock market or how to make money on a foreign exchange using currency pairs and euros and Great British pounds or Japanese yen or whatever the case might be. When you're making a decision to watch TV, you're making a decision, and be entertained, you're making a decision for your future. That is, I will not be any further along in my future because it's the knowledge that we have that makes us valuable. It's the knowledge that we have that makes us valuable financially. If all you know how to do is put stuff on shelves, and then your position based on the knowledge you have is a stock position, and the stock position is valued at maybe $10 an hour. You see, so the reality is what we want to do nowadays in order to better our condition and to eliminate generational poverty. What we want to do is make ourselves more valuable, because at the end of the day, people value different things in the moment. Sometimes a person might value getting high, and a drug dealer, he gonna make money based on the fact that what he's providing to others has value to them in that moment. In that moment, it may, whether we can make a decision on, to make a moral decision on it is not my concern right now. My concern is simply bringing this fact about decisions to your attention, the decision to provide value. And you hear this on so many different webinars or seminars, or in so many different books on business and financial prosperity. However, at the end of the day, it's all about providing value. Because if you could provide what people value in that moment, when they are, because most people are generally going to make a decision based on their emotions, because the decisions that we make is based on avoiding pain and gaining more feel good emotion, more pleasure. So if it feels good to be intoxicated, then the person is going to value that, and if you can show that person that there's a better way to feel good, then the person may value the information. And that's where we'll be able to help them and help ourselves financially by providing these solutions. But most people don't know valuable methods and methodologies of changing their lives or changing their conditions. And this is where people like yourself may come in. You know, you might think, man, I don't know anything. I don't know any way how to help people to make money. There's always a way you can start a business. There's always something you can do. There's always something that your friends say, yo, you really good at this. It could be talking. It could be comedy. It could be something. But the thing is, we have to make that decision. And every decision is really not, the decision is only made once you've actually began pursuing that course of direction in your life. Like, for instance, if you've been a farmer and you don't like farming anymore, but your passion is to be a motivational speaker or to be a comedian or to be a writer and you want to write books, you haven't really, and you say, oh, I'll decide I'm going to do this. But now 2 weeks go by and you haven't written the book, then, or you haven't even wrote the first line, and you're still talking about it, then you haven't made a decision. You pretty much, you're reflecting on it, you're contemplating on it, you're giving it some thought. But at the end of the day, you haven't made a decision. A decision, a true decision, is known because action has been taken in a direction. And basically what I'm saying to you guys is this, that our decisions will affect our outcome, our results. You know, the outcome of anything is always cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction in the universe. For every cause, there's an effect, and for every effect, there is a cause. The cause will be a decision. The effect and the decision will be action. So everything happens because it was supposed to happen based on law. You know, some people could call it various things. What I refer to it as is universal law. Nothing moves without force. So if your financial condition hasn't changed, then you haven't applied any force to it. If the relationship between you and your spouse hasn't changed, then you haven't applied any force to do that. If the way you feel inside about who you are, you know, you feel like you're fat, you feel like you're uneducated, you feel like you can't do this, that's because you haven't made a decision. You haven't taken any action. See, when I say decision, I mean action. So let's get that straight. Action has reaction. Thought, it can have different reactions in the sense that, you know, you could think a thought like, I don't like this person, and the person could come around you and they could react off the energy that you give off, because all of our thoughts have energy. Most of us don't seem to realize that our thoughts do have energy and other people can feel it. Have you ever been in a room, a pitch black room, and then you seen someone, and that person that you saw, or not seen someone, excuse me, you've been in a pitch black room and a person and felt there was another living creature or person inside of that room? That's because we all give off energy. Like, our hearts are beating and there's energy inside of us, and that energy is what, when we tap it, that's where the greatness comes from in our lives. That's where you get super achievers like world-class athletes and powerful writers and speakers and the people who have been mentioned in the course of history. Now, the question is, will you be mentioned in the course of history? Because if you're not mentioned in the course of history, then you're accepting that same generational poverty that you say you do not like. I personally don't like generational poverty. I'm a product of it. And, you know, like I'm always speaking on you guys becoming the first millionaire in your family. Will you be the first millionaire in your family? You know, and I once watched a video. I'm not sure who the author was. I watched so many videos and I strive to listen to some of the most powerful speakers out there, you know, because they're inspirations. And I don't ever want to be a motivational speaker in any capacity. My idea is to be an inspirational speaker, because if I have to motivate you once, my father said, if you got to convince somebody of it one time, you have to convince them again. You have to convince them again. You have to convince them again. What I want to do is inspire, because when you're inspired, you're driven. There's no way around it. You're driven. You're gonna make it happen, because I'm inspired by this. I feel passionate. Inspiration and passion are synonymous. And when you're passionate, about something, and you're going for what you want, come on. Somebody tell you can't, you like, man, yeah, you need to get up out of here with that, because that's what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about anything, you're gonna pursue it. You know, if you love something, you're going to pursue it, you know. But that love for anything could only come because we made an original decision. It's been back to the point of decisions. Every decision, which is an action, will have a result. If we decide to study the financial markets right now, then guess what? You know, how many of you decide to study the financial markets? How many people in poverty Black, white, Asian, Latin, it doesn't matter how many of you guys that it come from a poverty-based environment or a low income environment know how to read the Wall Street Journal, for instance. I mean, do you really know how to read the Wall Street Journal? How many of you actually can explain or hold the course and teach other young people who don't know what you may know about trading on international markets and making money from your home? See, this is what it's all about. It's about what can you do? You know, what can you do? What are you doing for you? Or are you just waiting to be fired from your job and then have to go to scrambling? What decisions are you making to cause a different effect in the future? See, there's always a cause and there's always an effect. If you sit back and wait, guaranteed fact is going to happen to you, because life is changing around you. You don't have to move backwards to end up in the back. All you have to do is stay where you at. You stay right here at this level and everybody else moves up to the next level, and then you find yourself behind. You see where I'm going with that? You'll find yourself in the back. I don't think you want to be in the back. I sure don't want to be in the back, and I don't think you'd be watching this if you wanted to be in the back. So what you got to do right now is keep up. You know, just keep up. You know, just strive to just realize that everything is moving. You know, they say that change is the most consistent law in the universe. Well, if everything is changing and you're continuing to do things the same way, then you're going to end up in the back. And eventually, with technology developing like this, if you're holding a working class position, right now, and you don't do anything to make yourself more valuable and more marketable in the future, you're going to be basically a bum. You're going to be in the back. What creative things do you have? What have you said and other people was giving you constant praise and accolades for? That might be your lane. What bothers you? What disturbs you? Because I once read somewhere that the things that disturb us the most, those are the things that we the problems we're meant to solve. Every business is based on solving a problem. People needed to organize ideas and thoughts. And then you got guys like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They came up with software to allow people to do that. You know, there's microphone companies out there for all you rappers and singers. People wanted to be able to not have to sing in a village like they did 2,000 years ago, maybe. They wanted to be able to record it and sell it and package it. Somebody solved that problem. Everything that happens is a problem. Well, you're making the decision to solve problems, because if you're not making the decision to solve problems, you're making the decision to be a problem and to continue generational poverty and pass that to your children. That's what you're doing. Again, this is Victorious here at Ending Generational Poverty. And I'm going to just say peace. I just wanted to put a couple of thoughts on you guys' minds. As you can see, this is the third video that I filmed today. I finally got home and I don't have the distractions right now of being on the road and striving to keep up with all of the various stimulus and distractions of being on the road. So now I'm able to more organize my thoughts and bring it to you in a way that I feel would be more comprehensive to you guys. You know, and once again, man, you know, please subscribe if you like the information and the content that I'm presenting. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will definitely keep you guys filled with new thoughts and inspirations. And I'm working on a lot of different new methodologies of presenting ideas in a more organized fashion that might be even more manageable for you and easy to digest in the future. You know, this is just the beginning, so stay with me, y'all. Give me a moment to develop this, because I'm coming. I really am coming, man. I love you guys out there, or I wouldn't be bringing this to you. I'm not getting a dime off of this right now. You know, I just want to help others because I've been through so much. Some of you females out there, you may be getting beat on by a man. That's a decision. Or I don't want to call the police on him. That's a decision. I've never been one to call the police. But I can also tell you this, that if you can't beat this man, then you need to do something without jeopardizing yourself and putting yourself in a worse situation. And if you have children, to remove yourself from the lives of your children because you done shot and killed this individual, when there's a number you could call and just get this person up off of you before he kills you and leaves your children in the same situation anyway. So it's all about thinking and making the right decisions, and the decisions that we make will result in the peace that we experience in our future, or the result in the frustration and the disappointment and the anger that we may experience. So again, you know, the decisions we make in the present will affect our future, because the decisions you made in the past, if you got children and you have a baby mama or you have a child's mother that's creating all kind of drama and chaos in your life, you made that decision to have sex with a raw one 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And now, guess what? The decision you made in the past is something you must live with in the present. So the decisions you make in the present, when that future becomes your present, those will be the decisions you have to live within. So again, you know, you guys out there, peace, man. I just wanted to put a couple of thoughts on your brain, and I hope this brought you guys a little more clarity and help you focus your thoughts on what you want out of life. And I want to see you guys succeed out there. Again, I got some books coming for you guys. I'm not going to mention them yet. I'm just getting everything in the process of being organized and founding this company. Peace.